Pathways, Part 2. And as the Sergeant at Arms today, please allow me to state our mission for the district, which is we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. And of course, the Toastmasters mission for the clubs is to provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So I'm really excited today to now turn to our audience and also role players and our guests for the day. Now, your audios will be muted and your videos kept turned off by our very savvy Toastmaster Zoom Masters, Anita Biju and Toastmaster Dilip. And that's just to give better bandwidth, of course, for our speakers. So only unmute yourself or switch on your videos when you're asked to do so. And when your screen is on, please turn off your cell phones so that we don't get distracted, or turn them to silent mode, please. That'll be very helpful. And you may also, of course, use reaction buttons, the acknowledgements, upvotes, applause, smileys. That's always welcome as a motivation. So please feel free to do that. Now to our speakers, although you do know your speaking positions already, before you proceed, the MC will let you know of your audio visual that you are clear and give you an upvote just to double check that. So for you to be aware of that. And just a suggestion, please remember to use eye contact to look into the camera, because this is like looking into the audience. And also to give you a feeling of confidence, make sure you switch to gallery view so that you can see people, and also our timer, most importantly, who is Toastmaster Wenzel, who is our area director, area 30, so that you won't miss the time in your gallery view. And finally, as always, be reminded to avoid the taboo topics, which are politics, religion, and sex, which shouldn't be discussed here, please. So now it's time to hand over the screen to our distinguished Toastmaster, Pragnya Vanigala, who is actually a performance optimization specialist. And she believes that the world will be a much better place if everybody gets better at what they do and has a lot more fun doing it. And I think that's really brilliant, my Pragnya. I hope we have a lot of fun today with you. And she's very much a girl next door, passionate Toastmaster who believes Toastmasters is all about family. She's a member of the DSO Toastmasters Club, and for more than 5 years, she's been volunteering in multiple leadership roles at club level, district level, and now she's the current Division B director. So please give a very warm welcome to Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster, Pragnya Vanigala. Over to you, Pragnya.
Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms Georgia, for lighting up the room and for that beautiful introduction. Now, good morning to each and every one of you present here. Our Sunday morning brought you into this Zoom room, wherever you are, except if you're in the washrooms or you're in a position where you should not switch on your cameras. We would love to see you all for a little bit so we can share some smiles, share some energies, and actually get going. Right, so if you're able to switch on your cameras, and if you're not driving or in compromising positions, then please do switch on your cameras. Thank you to those of you who are. All right. So, when we started this term as division directors and as leaders in Toastmasters, one of the first topics of education sessions that the district team and the division directors brought up was pathways. And needless to say, pathways is our core curriculum, and we all know how it rolls out. Yet, there are two ways to actually go through our experience in Toastmasters. Either we go through it or we grow through it. Now, we may have completed paths, and I myself have completed a path that we are going to deep dive into today, and it has been phenomenal. However, once you do look back at each path, you look at, okay, there are so many nuances to each of it that actually distinguishes it separately from each and every path. So there are 11 unique learning opportunities, and the district team and the entire leadership team is committed to make sure each of us understand these nuances and make sure we benefit and we actually grow through the entire pathways process. Yes? All right, so I want you to all just quickly in the chat box, just type in if you have started or completed any of the 4 paths that we are discussing today. First off, it's also a test to understand, do you know the 4 paths we are going to discuss today? Can we have some engagement in the chat box? Come on, guys. I know it's Sunday morning, but yes. Completed, yes, presentation mastery, brilliant. So I myself have completed dynamic leadership. What about the others? Only one has completed? Yes, dynamic leadership and presentation mastery, motivational strategies. Brilliant. What else? Started, okay, dynamic leadership development. Very nice. The coaching one, all right. Dynamic leadership, presentation mastery. Awesome. A lot of us have completed the parts, but today we're going to look at actually what we have actually taken away from each of those parts and go deeper into it, and to make sure the next one we choose is also going to be exciting, because what we do here in Toastmasters applies to every aspect of our lives, and we learn this some way or the other. And if you haven't heard this quote before, I'm sure you'll hear it multiple times in the future also, that if you get out of Toastmasters what you can get out of Toastmasters, then you cannot get out of Toastmasters. Right? So that's why we are all around, and we stick around, and we will stick around, because this is a never ending learning journey. And every session like this is going to enlighten us. It's going to take us deeper into our experience, and it's going to give us more opportunities to serve back to this beautiful community. So who's excited for today's session? Because we have amazing speakers who are going to take us through their experiences of the parts, 4 parts specifically that we are going to discuss today. And who's excited? Can you see some reaction buttons, something on the chat? Yes, yes, Georgia is excited, Ram is excited, Wenzel is excited. Yes, I can see their faces. What about the others? Yeah, PQD is very excited. She was the pillar behind these sessions. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, to take forward this amazing session that we have planned today for you, Division B, I, and P, welcome on screen our MC for today, who has been a partner in crime for me, somebody who I have grown with in Toastmasters and has always been by my side. Now, she is a Toastmaster because she's so passionate about it, and she has such a serving heart. And it's not just in Toastmasters, because she by profession is a doctor as well. So serving is literally in her blood. And any role she takes up with a lot of enthusiasm and zeal, and she brings in her personal touch and her smile and energy, which is infectious. Please put your hands together for our MC for today, Division I Director, Dr. Muniba Ali.
Thank you, Division B Director DTM Pregneya, for that wonderful and warm welcome. You have filled my heart already. And to start with our A to Z pathways, honorable dignitaries, district officers, division directors, area directors, DTMs, my dear friends and fellow Toastmasters, a very good morning. My name is Dr. Muniba Ali, and I'm your MC for today's event. Me and my team, the division directors, DTM Pregneya and Toastmaster Midhat, are honored to be hosting this event, the series 2 of A to Z Pathways, a venture by District 105 PQD, DTM Deba and team. And I have a great team led by the Surgeon at Arms, Area Director 32, Toastmaster Georgia, the Timer, Area Director 30, Toastmaster Wenzel, the Zoom Masters, Assistant Division B Director, Toastmaster Anida Biju, and Assistant Division J Director, Toastmaster Dilip. Thank you, my team, for being with me today, and we all are honored to host this event. October 30, what is special today? Is it the Halloween? Or is it the second day of Dubai Fitness Challenge? Or is it the A to Z of Pathways 2 from District 105? All these are special. But for us doctors, it's the time to welcome November, the flu and fever month, where clinics and hospitals are going to get busier. Fever, it's a simple illness, yet there's hardly anyone who haven't experienced fever. There's a horror movie which I can relate, which I've seen long before, where a family is waiting for their baby's arrival and unfortunately the baby dies. And the devil, he replaces the baby with the devil's baby. And this baby starts living with them. When the baby turns 5, the mother addresses her concern to the father of the baby. There's something not okay with our baby. And it was not because of the looks. The baby had every features of a biological child of theirs because the devil knew his job. But the mother was worried for one thing. Our baby, our child, he haven't got fever even once. So that was what was abnormal, what she noticed. I have noticed one thing. Isn't fear like fever? Even it sounds the same. Really, isn't it? We all experience fear because we are normal. We are humans. There's not even one who haven't experienced fear. And the greatest fear so far said is the fear of public speaking. And a wise man once said, there's only one true thing about fear of public speaking. Either you admit you have it or you lie that you don't have it. And to overcome this fear, the glossophobia, I searched for a remedy and found Toastmasters International, and I'm happy that I'm part of this great organization. And if you are a Toastmaster, if you have joined Toastmasters and don't know about pathways, it's like you have Panadol in your hand and you wonder why the fever is still there. You have to take the medicine, required dose, and that's to get better. And for that, you need to know more. Today, we have assembled here to get you there, to make it easy for you, the curriculum of Toastmasters, the pathways. And the professors here are to teach us and take us through the pathways, thus to simplify the process. Not only that, we have testimonials from experienced and expert Toastmasters who have completed those pathways, and they are here to share with us how it has helped them in being better speakers and better leaders. And today we have detailed overview of 4 pathways: engaging humor, presentation mastery, leadership development, and dynamic leadership. And to start with the first pathway of the day, let me invite the professor who is going to talk about it and the expert graduate who have completed it. DTM Dr. Abdul Sattar is the current Assistant Division I Director, Club Growth. He's the past Division I Director, past Area 21 Director, current VPPR of Arabian Dreams, the club member of Dubai Oasis Toastmasters, and the president of Billionaire Toastmasters Club. He's an orthopedic surgeon who works at Dubai Hospital. The hypnotizingly charismatic, dynamically energetic, a surgeon with gifted hands, a technology geek with viral brains. But one thing that keeps you glued to his personality is his humor sense. Clever and funny, timed just right. And that's how this doctor amuses the crowd. And to give a testimonial about the pathways engaging humor, we have with us DTM Sriram Radhakrishnan. He's a human capital professional and an instructional designer. Super foodie who loves to cook, a reader who likes to write, a lazy person who loves to travel, a Toastmaster for over 5 years now. And he has joined us from India. The very first time I texted him when he was working in Dubai as an HR professional, he added a smiley emoji to the reply. And I told him I liked his choice of the smiley. And you know what he replied? There's an explanation to it. It's a cheerful smile which shows how actually he feels. And when he sees that smiley, unconsciously, he smiles too. It's kind of contagious. And I love that explanation. Gentlemen, DTM Dr. Abdul Sattar and DTM Sriram, set the stage on fire. It's all yours, and over to you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Please give a big round of applause to the MC of the day, Dr. Muniba, for this vocabulary-filled introduction that she has given early this morning. Good morning to a bright Sunday morning, and welcome to all the honorable dignitaries, district officers, division directors, area directors, DTMs, my dear friends and fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to Pathways, Season 2. Let's have a look at the bird's eye view of Pathways. But Pathway Learning Experience is an interactive and flexible education program like no other. It was created to help strengthen your communication and leadership skills as you grow towards personal and professional success, all while having fun. There are about 300 skill set competencies that you can develop, and 11 pathways to choose from, depending on your goal that you're looking at. Online content affording you to learn anytime, anywhere, and content is available in multiple languages. Now, today we'll be talking about engaging humor, which is part of the 11 pathways. And in engaging humor, you'll be developing 2 core competencies, that is public speaking and confidence. Definitely you'll become a humorous speaker at the end of the pathway. It is designed to build your skills as a humor, as an engaging speaker, focus on understanding your sense of humor and how that sense of humor translates to engaging your audience. Now let's move on to the specifics of the pathway. If you look at any pathway, it is this structure. It has 5 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to 5. And in level 1, you have about 4. Let me just tell you how you reach the pathways. Once you log in, you click on to the education, then you go to the Basecamp. In Basecamp, you choose paths and learning. That's education script. Once you reach there, you get this 1 to 5 levels where you have level 1, which I'll explain to you in detail in the next page. Level 1, you get this screen in the computer screen. Then you get in level 1, you have icebreaker, which is a 4 to 6 minute speech. This is an introduction about yourself. Any of the speech that I have not mentioned, the time is about 5 to 7 minutes. Path, the level 1 path 1 is the icebreaker, and the second project is writing a speech with purpose. Body, opening, body, and a conclusion, a 5 to 7 minute speech. Then in the third level, you include vocal variety and body language. That is also a 5 to 7 minute speech. But in project 4, there are 3 elements to project 4. One is give a speech. Then you take the feedback for the first speech, incorporate all the feedback from the first speech, and give a second speech, which is about 5 to 7 minutes. And then you do an evaluation. It takes about the whole level 1 is the longest pathway. Actually, it takes about 6 meetings to complete. So unless otherwise you try to finish, you do it in alternate meetings, it takes about 6 minutes. So first you concentrate on the level 1, which is the longest path, and it takes little more time than any other path. Then let's move on to level 2. That is learning your style. There are 3 projects in level 2. Know your sense of humor. Try to explain, talk about your sense of humor and see how people respond. And project 2 is a connect with our audience. See how people feel when you incorporate humor in your speech. Project 3 is the mentoring, how you felt as a mentor and how you dealt with your mentee. When you move on to level 3, you start to become a professional speaker now. You start engaging your audience with humor. There are only 3 projects in level 3, which one is a compulsory project, that is engage your audience with humor, and 2 elective projects, which you can choose out of 13 projects. In those, there are only 2 I would like to highlight. Is active listening. You take up the role of a table topic master. The difference is that you have to keep an evaluator as a table topic master. And after every speaker speaks, you pick up few words or few lines from those speeches and comment on that to make sure that you're actively listening to every speech. And delivering social speeches, it includes 2 speeches, about 3 to 4 minutes. It can be given either in 2 events or in a single meeting. So that takes just 3 meetings to complete your level 3. When you move on to level 4, this is how you get into the elective parts of engaging humor. Once you finish your compulsory path, click on to the view details. You get all the details of the elective parts that is available for you to choose. And level 5, this is building, level 4, building your skills. This has 2 projects. One is a compulsory project, the power of humor in impromptu speech. This is the reverse of table topics. You'll be given 2 topics in the same meeting, and you'll be giving a humorous speech, 2 speeches for 2 to 3 minutes. And in elective parts, most of them are 5 to 7 minute speeches, except create a podcast. You have to create a podcast of 60 minutes, and you have to talk about the podcast for 2 to 3 minutes in one of the meetings. Managing online meetings, you conduct a meeting which is online 20 to 25 minutes. Manage a project successfully. You have to give 2 speeches about 2 to 3 minutes explaining your plan about the project, and 5 to 7 minutes, the final speech. Managing a difficult audience, you get disturbed by all the possible things in the meeting, and then you manage a speech, managing the difficult audience. And writing a compelling blog, you tell us about how you write a blog, how maintain a blog, and how to make it attractive for people. So these are the projects that is different from normal in the elective path in level 4. Now, how to get into the level 4 elective parts? You click on the view details. Once you complete the compulsory project, you get the list of options available for you to choose as elective parts in level 4. Let's move on to level 5. Level 5 has 3 projects. There's a little difference in the older path and the new path. Reflect on your path was part after the level 5, but then many of them were missing that path to complete. So it is now added in level 5. And totally in level 5, there are 3 parts, 3 projects. Deliver your message with humor. It is an 18 to 22 minute keynote speech. And after you finish all the speeches in your level 5, you go into reflect on your path, which is 10 to 12 minute speech. The different parts that is in the elective is the moderate a panel discussion, 20 to 40 minutes, and prepared to speak professionally, which is another keynote speech if you can. It is about 18 to 22 minutes. And to choose from the optional parts in level 5, click on view details. You get all the options available in level 5. And this is how all your activities, the path you've chosen, the date you've chosen, and the day you have given the speech, the day you have logged in, everything is logged if you click on top of the options button in any level, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, till now, we have summary of the engaging humor path, which has 5 levels, 4 projects in level 1, 3 projects in level 2, 3 projects in level 3, 2 projects in level 4, and 3 projects in level 5. Now, what happens once you start giving your speeches? You get badges. At every level, when you finish a path, you get a badge. When you finish a level, you get a badge. And you can also give feedback to recognize the members of your club. And you get a certificate in digital form. You can also print it from the base camp. You can also request for an employee letter to be sent directly from Toastmaster International for level 3, 4, and 5. And an email from the international president. You can also request for a printed version from World Headquarters. And once you complete the path, you become an engaging humor proficient. And you can take up mentorship of that level that you're finished, of the project that you've finished as a mentor. This page to tell you the speech evaluation forms. Many of the meetings I've seen, the speakers forget to bring these speech evaluation forms, and they were very busy that I could not arrange it. So you click on this page. This is the page you get once you log in, and then you can download all the possible evaluation forms from here. And you can store your documents in this area, and all the badges that you have been getting is lodged here, and all the feedbacks that you can store here. So in short, we have 11 parts to choose from, and one of the parts we just talked about is engaging humor. What happens once you finish engaging humor? You choose another path. Then you move on to become a distinguished Toastmaster. After you complete 2 parts, serve as a club officer, district officer, club mentor and sponsor, and a DTM project. Not just that, your club benefits when you finish a level. If 4 level 1s are finished in a club, they get 1 point in their distinguished club program. 2 levels 2 members finishes 2 levels, they get 1 point. And 2 members finishes level 3, they get 1 point. And level 4 or a DTM or level 5 and DTM gets another point. So your club benefits, you benefit, and both of you grow together when you do the pathways. And these are the resources available, evaluation resources. If you just click on the link I showed you, you can get it from there. All the evaluation resources, the forms that you need to have when you're starting to give a speech in case you forget the last minute. And Toastmaster resource by District 17 website is an Australian district. They have very good resources available in case you want to have a rundown through every possible pathways. Before you choose one, you can just log into this, click onto this link and then log in. That's all from my end. Thank you very much for patient listening. Hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. And let me hand over the stage to DTM Sriram.
Thank you so much, DTM Abdul Sattar. That was a wonderful summary of how engaging humor path is structured. So before I start my testimonial, I want to give a disclaimer. So if you find me funny at some points in place in my testimonial, and I give the credit to the engaging humor path. If you don't find me funny in any of the testimonial parts, then blame me. Don't blame the path. So just want to make it clear that if I am funny, it's the path's work. If I'm not funny, it's my fault. I did not go through the path the way I supposed to go through. So engaging humor path, I started it when we were just about to face the whole wrath of Corona. So I gave my icebreaker and the first level, for first couple of speeches in level 1 in the physical meetings. So at that time, and after that, the remote meeting started, the physical meetings went off, and we started giving speeches in Zoom meetings in small squares. So when I was giving my speeches in physical meeting, I was funny. When I started giving speeches in Zoom, I became remotely funny. I learned it the hard way. And then when, as you can see, the level 1 is basically a very brief structure of all the levels. All the parts have the same, more or less the same level 1. The level 2 speeches came, and the first speech was know your sense of humor. And that's when I figured out I absolutely had zero sense of humor when it's time to give a speech. Because when you are giving a prepared humorous speech, you will have to anticipate where people will laugh, write that down, and then deliver. That was very difficult for me at the start. I used to crack jokes, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes dad levels, but it was never easy for me to write a humorous speech. Like Kamala Hassan used to say, humor is a very serious business. So you will have to sit, write, you will have to anticipate where people will laugh, where people might not laugh. And audiences, I'm telling you, including the lot here, are extremely crazy people. They will never laugh where you want to, and they will laugh at the point where you least expect them to laugh, where you thought the punch was not there. So overall, when I see it, I think it's more of a learning journey still. I'm learning. I don't know where people laugh. And the biggest disadvantage with this whole physical meeting is I'm looking at myself and giving a speech because I've been spotlighted. Now, when I move to the gallery view, a lot of people, due to various reasons, people are not on camera. Either I see a headshot or there are people who are laughing, and you don't get that exact feedback back. So what I recommend is give it in a mixed format where you go to physical meeting sometimes and give it in a Zoom meeting so that you actually know how funny you are. So in online meetings are not really a gauging meter for you to find out how funny you are. And engaging humor definitely helps you achieve that, because there are lots of useful tips and tricks which were there throughout the path, which actually helped me understand how humor is enacted on screen. Like when you see a stand-up comedian on stage, it looks very effortless for us. Like, oh yeah, I laughed at all the, I was laughing throughout. But the amount of preparation that goes behind the engaging humor path does a wonderful job. At various level, it gives, the curriculum is so structured that you will never feel you want to search on the internet to find something that you want. The engaging humor path is not giving me, I don't know how to make people laugh. So because of all those reasons, I highly recommend people who it doesn't matter. Some people will say, what, come on, you are very funny, you can give a humorous speech. I mean, that's how they motivated me to take engaging humor path. I mean, that's how I myself was motivated, because I was like, I make people laugh, now I can take engaging humor. But then when I actually deliver a speech, people didn't laugh. My icebreaker was sad at best. People did not even smile at some places. So it doesn't matter whether you think you are funny or you think you're not funny. Take up this path. This helps you at the end of the path. You will definitely have a lot of takeaway as to how to make people laugh. Just to give one thing which is not there in the, not to spoil the path for anyone who has not taken it. Audience laugh when you give them unexpected surprises. So you start saying something and then you break it, and you take them through that journey. And when they are expecting you to say something, don't say it. Then people will start laughing. So those are some things which you will learn throughout the path. And my experience with engaging humor has been absolutely amazing. One thing I will recommend for everyone to do is use the material and enact it in different roles. So don't use it just for the speech. So the material which you have, you can use it to make for TMOD. You can make it funny and humorous for a table topics master. You can make it funny and use it for a general evaluator. All the roles, the tips and tricks that are there in this path can be used across the roles, and it will definitely help you become, at least if you are funny, you will become very funny. If you're not funny, you will become funny. You will reach that place where you are consciously trying to bring that humor. And remember one thing in mind, humor is not that people will like laugh out loud the entire time you are speaking. People will smile, people will relate, people will feel good, people will laugh at times. So all those things constitute humor. It's not that people will have to like roll on the floor and laugh whenever you tell a joke. So that's not how humor works. That's what I understood. My biggest takeaway from this engaging humor path is that humor is not always like ruffle and lol. It's also the smile. It's also the discussion that you have. It's also the acknowledgements that you get. It's how well you relate with the audience. That is my takeaway from the engaging humor path. I encourage everyone strongly to take up the engaging humor path and tackle your funny bone as well as others. I'm open to take any questions if anyone has. If there are no questions, I'm very happy I can hand it over to the host of the day, Toastmaster Muniba.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Dr. Abdul Sattar and DTM Sriram Radhakrishnan. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience. Hope this training will help you to fight the fear with a smile. And the second pathway we chose to discuss today is presentation mastery. And we have a head of Department of Pathways here to guide you on it. And that is none other than DTM Vinod Panikkar. He's a trainer and consultant by profession. He's been a Toastmaster for more than 7 years. He's a Pathways Coordinator for District 105, 2017. He was a table topic finalist in DTAC 2018, past Division B Director, Toastmaster Leadership Institute Chair 2021, District 105, President Take Debate Club, and he's in UAE since past 18 years. He believes in philosophy of lifelong learning. Ideas don't move mountain, bulldozers do. Ideas just says where to put the bulldozers. That's what his WhatsApp status says. And there's one more thing about his WhatsApp status. His profile picture makes it easy for me to get its picture for any poster. And his best quote in Toastmaster I love is, it's not about winning or losing. It's all about participation and giving your best. He's a good speaker, a truly caring leader, and his presence always makes any session wonderful. He's the one person who really listens. And I can't count off that even when his camera is off. Whatever said and done, even one good listener makes a speaker proud. And we actually had to give the testimonial about the pathways of presentation mastery, Toastmaster Shaini Jacob, and unfortunately she's sick with flu and hospitalized. So DTM Vinod Panikkar will be handling both sessions of presentation mastery. So the leader, the stage is all yours. Over to you, DTM Vinod Panikkar.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Muniba, Division Director. Amazing, as always, inspiring, pumping, and whatever is required by an host, you check all the box and you always do more. Now, to all the audience over here, who cares? What's in it for me? So what? All these three questions are in a similar line that an audience is always asking when you are giving a presentation. And that is what I am going to take you in the next 10 minutes through this path called presentation mastery, which Toastmasters themselves have recommended for all the members. I believe when you selected the path, you must have seen the word recommended in front of presentation mastery. And there is a reason why, because we are primarily an organization which builds better speaker, and that in turns makes better leaders. So ladies and gentlemen, so let's go through the 10 minutes, and I have a different approach over here because Dr. Sattar has made my life and DTM Sriram has made my life much, much easier because they very clearly articulated and showed you how to be a DTM. They showed you where to download certificates, what are the batches, how to download the mentoring certificate, how to do the resources. Everything is been done, right? So my job over there, I don't have much to do. And DTM Sriram also said that level 1 is same. So level 2 is slightly different, level 3, level 4, level 5, all these things. So what am I going to do over here today? I am going to make sure that I dare you today to be a professional speaker. I am giving everybody, let me see how many people are here, 65 people, including me. I'm giving you a dare today to select presentation mastery path if you have not selected that. And if you have not selected and you are on any other path, do the like what you say, the level 5 project elective as the main project of presentation mastery. And I will tell you why. Because if you do that, you will be not only a better person, but you will be a different person in a better way. And let me take you through this. Right. So this screenshot I took from Dr. Sattar because I had not done this. And why I chose this is if you actually see the key competency, the 5 core competency on which the entire pathways curriculum is created, public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and confidence, this should be by heart to each and every member who is over here. And if you see on your right, on my right-hand side, that dynamic leadership to visionary communication, all the 11 parts have been written, and the weightage of each competency has been given in that particular path, right? So only engaging humor and pathways presentation mastery has got 1 and 5. Rest all of them have something extra. Okay, they may have interpersonal communication, they have management, or they may have something extra. But these are the only 2 paths which is completely focusing on making you a better presenter or a better speaker. Now, this is what I had mentioned, but I took it from Dr. Sattar because he made my job easier. This is something I believe in the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen Covey says that the habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. And that is what I am going to do today. If you go through this level 5 mandatory project for presentation mastery is prepare to speak professionally. I'll give you 10 seconds to just read the purpose of the speech, purpose of the project, and overview to everyone. Amazing. And this is what Toastmaster is expecting from you when you complete this project. These are the competencies that you are supposed to learn when you complete all the levels in Toastmasters, or specifically level 5. If you are moving, I'm hoping that you move sequentially. These are the key competencies that you are supposed to learn. Again, I will give you 5 to 10 seconds. Look at this, observe, and sink it inside you, because this is my dare to you. Define the attributes of a professional speaker. Last one is understand how to market yourself as a professional level speaker. Now, recently, in one of the modules that I was learning in my MBA, we had a module called as Know Yourself, Develop Yourself, Promote Yourself. I believe this is exactly what this competency is all about. Know yourself, develop yourself, and the last one is understand how to market yourself as a professional level speaker. And I will keep repeating this, understand how to market yourself as a professional level speaker. This is what Toastmasters is expecting from us. When you complete level 5, you become a Pathways presentation mastery proficient speaker. Anywhere in the world you go, wherever you go, you know what are the attributes of a professional speaker and you know how to market yourself. That was the dare that I was telling each one of you, to make sure that you follow this path of presentation mastery, or if you follow any other path, as Dr. Sattar had showed you, even in engaging humor, Prepare to Speak Professionally is one of the elective projects. I would request you to take that project and add whatever flavor you want, but make sure you take this and go through this. So what are the attributes of a professional speaker? Again, 10 seconds. I will not read. I don't like to read from PowerPoints, and I usually say the power is in your point, not in the PowerPoint. But here I have just used, because there may be many new members. Just go through this. What is it? Credibility and experience, expertise, strong message, connection, confidence. This is the expectation that once you complete your project, all these things you will have. Now, credibility, of course, whatever field you are working in, if you are a salesman, if you're an accountant, if you're a housewife, whatever profession you are speaking in, and you want to speak about that profession as a professional speaker, or you want to share your thoughts on that, build a content around it. But generally, if you're speaking outside Toastmaster, just being a Toastmaster itself is a credible experience that I can guarantee you. Expertise, strong message, connection, confidence. Now, let me stop over here. Okay, and I am going to play with you some game. So to be a professional speaker, we all know that you will have a content, you will have delivery, and you will have organization, the structure of the speech, which starts right from the beginning, okay, which Dr. Sattar had shown you. Okay, so this is presentation mastery. Before going into that, okay, so presentation mastery, mastering fundamentals is the basic. All 11 parts have the same level 1. Okay, level 2 would be slightly changing. Now, what I had told you was know yourself, develop yourself, promote yourself. Look at the 5 levels through that lens. Then you will understand the level 1 is basic, leave aside. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th is all about developing yourself, learning your style, increasing your knowledge, building your skills, and demonstrating expertise. So here you are actually developing yourself as a speaker. And level 3, level 4, and level 5 are the distinct project which makes presentation mastery path. Because if you take all the 11 paths and try to compare it, the level 3, level 4, and level 5 are the unique projects that make each path that particular path. So level 3 over here is persuasive speaking. What's it? Basically, if I believe in something, I develop a speech, a content to make sure that my audience also believes in that. And while I give my testimony, I will definitely come back to this. Managing a difficult audience, again, when I give my testimony, I will come back to this. But as of someone who is on presentation mastery path, look at the required projects. Now, for elective projects, there is a plethora of projects for each of them. If you just click over here, all these projects. Now, I'm not going deep into this because all the paths have almost same elective projects. What is distinct is only level 3, level 4, and level 5, right? And reflect on your path, Dr. Sattar has already told. Now let's see how much knowledge you have right now for the presentation mastery or generally. So my red light is here, but I would continue for the next 10 minutes, and in between I will give the testimony. After 5 minutes, please give me again the red light timer, please. So to all of you, how many types of opening do you know? Just type in the chat box. How many types of opening? When you open a speech, how many types of opening do you know? Just quickly, please. Yes. Okay, with a question. Anything else? There are more than 25. Amazing. Okay. Quote, story, proverb, daunting facts, breaking news, statistics. Okay. Amazing. So now think of a message that you want to share with the world. Okay. Now there is a lot of exercise that we can do of how you can come up with a message. It can be you are talking to your own 10-year-old self, that if you have a time to relive your life again, what would you do differently? Or if you are giving a message to a 5-year-old boy, how should they live, or a girl, how should they live their life, what it would be? Or second message would be your profession. If you are an accountant, how to be a good accountant, how to be a good salesperson, how to be a good district officer, how to be a DTM Deepa can speak about how to be a good author, DTM Pragnya can speak about how to be a better performance coach, whatever it is, right? So in your mind, just write it down or write it down somewhere. So whatever message you have, write the message. So now you understood some openings, opening with a question, opening with this, opening with that. And remember, this is part of the basics in level 1 for everyone. Okay. Now, how many types of closing do you know? How many types of ending do you know? Any 3 would be fine. Quickly. Quick. A quotation. Okay. Conclusion, take home message, call to action. Okay. Call for action with a message. Anything else? Suggestion? Anything else? Okay. Now, the best advice I can give you is go and Google the types of opening and the types of closing. Okay, because I will not be going into much detail, but the reason why I am saying this is to ensure that when you complete your path, you become a speaker who is speaking from free to a fee. That is what I wanted all of you to focus on. From speaking free to speaking with a fee. Now, the fee may not be monetary reward, it can be any other thing. But that is the challenge that I have to each and everyone. Now, give me any 2 structure for body. You all are now, imagine, okay, wait. Now, without, imagine yourself as a speaker, as a professional speaker 2 years later. You're speaking in front of your desired crowd. Okay, and everybody is clapping and looking for you, waiting for you. Now tell me, if you have a framework, now we know that there are more than 25 opening, there are 10 or 12 closing. Whatever message you have, play with your opening and closing. Okay, now tell me what type of body would you use? Do you have a framework for body? If somebody has, please put it on the chat box. I would have loved to take on the audio, but it would take a little bit more time. So just put it into the topic, point related to topic. Okay. So again, I will quickly go about it. One method that I like is from Bill Gove. He was one of the first presidents of National Speaker Association. He uses a simple technique. He says that this is where I was, this is where I am. Sorry, this is where I was, this is what happened, this is where I am. And no, this is where I was, this is what happened, this is what I did, and this is where I am. Okay, the 4-part body structure. Or Aristotle's 2000-year-old 3-act play, a beginning, a middle, and a closing. As simple as that. Or a story, right? A body can be a story. The purpose of a story is to elicit emotion, putting characters and all these things. Why I am saying all this thing is, next time you go to deliver a speech, think of all these elements. Think of what were the professional the attributes that were required for the professional speaker, and try to implement. This is the framework that I am going to use for body, right? One of the most famous story structure is the hero's journey. I think many of you might have already heard about Joseph Campbell. Most of the Hollywood movies are said to be based on that particular structure. There is a hero, he gets a call to action, but he initially does not go, but there is something that happens. Then he goes to the journey. Then there is a mentor who helps him. They slay all the dragon and come back home, right? You see any international world speech, it goes through all these things. So now, let me share with you the testimony for 5 minutes. The timer, you can give me 5 minutes later, the read again for the testimony and how this particular project, this path has changed my life. Let me start with Persuasion, which one of the club that I am a member of is Leadership Speaks. It's in Canada. It's an online club. Few months before, one of our member gave a speech on intermittent fasting, something like, and I'm not a big fan of fasting or dieting and all this thing. But the way she was speaking, she persuaded me to ensure that I was so much persuaded that I did it for at least 2 days. Okay, it can be whatever you have a belief in, whatever idea you have, whatever belief you have, can you convince your audience to believe in that same thing? That was the level 3. Now let me go through the level 4. Managing a difficult audience. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, this project personally changed my life. When I was delivering this project in DSO Toastmasters, which our Division B director also is part of, I had told my VP Education that these are like the requirement. And as soon as I started the project, people started interrupting me. Now, there were only 4 assigned role players for interrupting me, but looking at these interrupters, there were 3 guests who got so much charge that they started interrupting me at each and every stage. And that made me self-aware that even though I personally feel that I am very patient person, but during that project, I realized, no, I have to work on this on myself to manage the audience better. And I'll give you one more example. There is a professor who has written a book on storytelling. She is considered as one of the, if you write, it comes in the top 10. And she was giving a lecture in Stanford University. Now, the whole session of 40 minutes went well. But when it was time of Q&A, one student got up and asked her a difficult question. Her concept was, start the story from middle, like James Bond movies start with action, and then trace it back. And this question, the student said, you are using the hero's journey model, but just starting from middle, what different have you done? And the author got a shock of his life. And he was like, oh my God. And I could literally see he was visibly disturbed. For the next 10 minutes, the audience understood that he was visually disturbed and they started throwing difficult questions at him. The host had to interfere in between. Just like Dr. Muniba is there. If my time is a little overboard, please do interfere, Dr. Muniba. So the host had to interfere and then stop that particular speech. Managing the audience is a very challenging thing. And I personally had this first-hand experience when I delivered this speech. The last one I would say is demonstrating experience prepared to speak professionally. That speech opened the door for professional speaking and training to me personally. It was 4 years ago. There was something called as Speakers Bureau. I don't know whether all of you know about it or no, but there is something called as Speakers Bureau in Toastmasters, which basically looks for longer speeches and tries to prepare professional speakers. We had that professionals, and that bureau was very active 4 or 5 years ago. Now it is closed. I don't know why. I delivered my 20-minute speech at that particular time. And the rule over there is very simple: blunt feedback. Nobody is there to massage your ego that, okay, this is done, that is done. 15 minutes of straight, like you are in the line of gun, and talk. That particular evaluation for my 20 minutes keynote speech changed the way I looked at a speech. From that day, I understood that you do not write your speech, you rewrite your speeches. You have to have a framework before you enter. You need to practice with your opening. You need to practice with your closing. You need to have clarity of what is it that you want. And the most important question that I asked you in the beginning, who cares? So what? What's in it for me? That is what all the audience sitting over here is asking you. And let me give you this example from presentation mastery only. If my message is respect the people more than you love them. Okay. Now, Dalai Lama says that compassion is more stronger than love, because you can have compassion with your neighbor's wife, you can't love her. Okay. So, for example, if the message is respect more, so when I am talking to a student, I will not use example of husband and wife. I have to be mindful because they don't have life experiences. So I may use experiences of students and friends. But when I am talking to senior Toastmasters above 35, I can use kids example. I can use. So that is knowing your audience, right? So these simple things have helped me a lot when I was going through this presentation mastery. So forget about level 1 to level 5. I want to keep this in mind. Start with the end in mind. When you complete this project, I want you all to be a professional speaker in your area of expertise. Thank you very much. And back to you, Dr. Muniba.
Thank you, DTM Vinod Panikkar. That was a wonderful go through the presentation mastery. Though I have completed this pathways myself, I found it very useful. Hope this training will help you all to face fear with a good presence of mind. And the third pathway in line is leadership development. And to take us through the drivers of this pathway, we have an energetic young sensei and a friendly and fabulous fresh graduate to speak from her adventure. Toastmaster David Isaac, he's the student body president of Westford University College, pursuing international business. He's an active Toastmaster for the past 2 years, a customer success partner at Zwag, a startup app he and his founder created for the Generation Z by the Generation Z. And they had their official launch in GTEx as a main sponsor. If I could time travel and go to 2023, I would be introducing our trainer today as DTM David Isaac. And to give a testimonial about the pathways leadership development, we have with us Toastmaster Divi Alcasos. She's a banker by profession who loves reading, traveling, watching movies, baking, and making memories with her friends and family. She's also a Toastmaster for almost 2 years. She's the president of Dubai Toastmasters Club, the VPPR of Take Debate, the assistant program quality director for Area 50, and the assistant program quality director for the district. She is known to be very energetic, creative, and enthusiastic, and believes that one should never stop learning, as life never stops teaching. I love this girl talking. I admire her dance moves, as all of us do. And above it all, I adore the way she compliments without any hesitation, straight from the heart. Young stars of the day, the stage is all yours. Over to you, Toastmaster David Isaac.
Thank you so much, Miss Dr. Muniba, for that wonderful introduction. Now, I'm just looking at this, and there is 75 participants over here. So can I just get like a good morning from everyone this Sunday morning? So can I just have the chat bot just spam with good morning? So good morning, everyone. Could I just get that over there? Come on. One. Okay, we have one good morning over there. Well, there should be other people. There's 75 people over there. Jeremy Matthew, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, now we're getting the chat active over here. And welcome to Leadership Development Pathway Training with Toastmaster David Isaac of Westwood University College and Showstoppers. And when Dr. Muniba said, I'm the president, yeah, I just looked for my badge, but my jacket kind of can't like put that. So here's my badge. Toastmaster President of the university. Now that's a very good Toastmaster Ramos. What a good morning over there. I hope you guys are having a great time. And coming on board to mine, I'm really honored to be here and just talk about leadership development, because that was the first path I just took when I joined Toastmasters. And my president at the time, Toastmaster Nida Sadek, she was one saying that, David, this is a good path for you. I was like, why? She said, you sound like you can talk like a leader, and it can help you build connections in university. This was during COVID time, so connections was really minimal because we were looking at university through a computer screen. Like I'm looking at you guys right now. University for the first year and a half was just online. I was like, why am I going to do this? Why would it be necessary? But to my pleasant surprise, I realized, no, that was the part that actually really, really molded me to become, president and Toastmaster, like giving here this platform. Now, I'm just going to share my screen for this presentation I made, which is, I'm really proud of it. Can I just see if everyone can see my screen? Can everyone's screen see my screen? Just got a thumbs up or a yes in the chat box. Like, can you guys see my screen, guys? Yes, okay, that's good. And let's go full screen because now, please don't mind the designs and all that, because I just realized that PowerPoint presentation has like the best designs out of everything. And I just love being creative with that. So welcome to Leadership Development by Toastmaster David Isaac. I think it should work. Yeah, what's it about? So leadership development really is just about my journey. I'm going to be talking a bit about my journey and talking through what the axis is, what the point is, what this pathway really is about. So that, and I'm going to use a lot of pictures because I personally think pictures are the best way to like interact and keep it intact with the audience. Like you guys will remember it a lot more. So this was me when I just joined university, like in 2020, August 24th. And this was the most recent picture when I was conducting the inauguration ceremony for the current ExCom as president. So I'm just going to show you how we went from here, where I would just join university, to this, and what are the pathways and the projects we have to do inside leadership development. Mastering the fundamentals. And as you can see, this is me giving my very, very first icebreaker speech, or my first ever prepared speech on stage 2 years back. And the thing about leadership development is it starts off quite similar with like other pathways as well. You have an icebreaker, writing a speech with a purpose, introduction to vocal variety and body language, and evaluation and feedback. So when I spoke about my icebreaker 2 years back, I really didn't, that was the first time I gave a structured speech, right? I was like, what am I going to be talking about? How do I go about this and all that? And I had good mentors over here. So it kind of just sets a flow on how your path is going to be looking forward. And when you talk about writing a speech with a purpose, you choose a topic and what do you want to do with that? Introduction to vocal variety and body language, moving the skills. That your evaluators, if you have a good evaluator on stage in your club, you can definitely do that. So I have to give a good shout out to one of my former club members, Toastmaster Naz Marshad, who really introduced me to what evaluation was also like and how to take that feedback and not be like, oh my God, I got criticized by someone. How am I supposed to like move forward from that? These are all constructive criticisms that you can take and grow as speakers, because feedback is breakfast for champions, I would assume. Learning your style. Now, see, as a leader, you really have to understand what your team is like. Who exactly is in your team? How do you work around it? So the key things about this second part in level 2 is managing your time, understanding your leadership style, and introduction to Toastmaster mentoring. Now, the third point is something that I really, really feel connected to, because I got the opportunity to like meet so many mentors and actually acknowledge them. So in Toastmasters, a couple of my mentors are Toastmaster Sakina, Toastmaster Nida, Toastmaster Amita, Toastmaster and DTM Anita. And they are really the ones who actually showed me what Toastmasters, how if you mentor someone, you can actually grow at like a really, really rapid pace. And that actually showed me the importance of mentoring. So that now when I am like one of the most senior members at Westfield University and Toastmasters Club, I can mentor the future Toastmasters. And as part of my DTM project as well, it's kind of easy to mentor the Gavaliers. And that's what you have to give your speeches about. Most of these speeches really are like 5. At that time, it was 5 to 7 minutes. Now it's 4 to 6. So managing your time, understanding time management, your leadership style, what type of leader are you? Are you the one that's more interactive with people? Are you the one that's more direct, authoritative, democratic? You can choose and you can understand. You have to check with yourself. How exactly are you? I would say I'm a more relaxed / authoritarian fit leadership guy, because I literally just love working with people, love hearing their food, but at the same time, I do love having a structure and mentoring. I do that individually. Increasing your knowledge. All right. Now, this is level 3, where you do have to start with electives. And I'm just choosing the electives I've done. And there are a bunch of them online, like almost 14. And out of 14 speeches, we are to select 2 of them. So planning, increasing knowledge level, right? You have to start planning on what events you've done. Have you conducted any events, or have you participated in any events? And that's what your electives are, delivering a social speech as well. And social speech and inspiring your audience. So when I did my social speech was regarding the UN. So I'm part of this foundation called the Abhigyani Foundation based in India. But when they do their events in Dubai, I'm one of the MCs over there. And when I give a social speech, we talk about celebrating excellence. We talk about celebrating the good people have done and how they are being awarded. And this was in March of 2022, where the restrictions kind of got lifted and we were finally able to conduct these sessions on stage. And when I talk about inspiring the audience, how have you inspired? There are 75 people in this chat right now. How have you inspired someone? Like, how have you inspired a group of people around you to do something different, do a change, to go about and make a difference? And trust me, it doesn't have to be an out of this world thing that you've solved world hunger or ended poverty. Now, it could simply be making someone get up in the morning and be excited about the day. That itself is inspiring your audience. And when you can do that, you've really achieved something over here. Building skills. Now, this is one of my favorite levels over here, which you can do. And what I've selected is leading my team, all right, and creating a podcast. So if you're not familiar, I have a podcast called The We Impact Show. And it's a show that basically looks to inspire the youth. And because of COVID, we weren't able to interact a lot in person. And I was doing my gap year and I was working with a couple of foundations and I wanted to give back to them. I said, we have Zoom. We can connect with anyone around the world. Why not make a podcast about it? So I used to be interacting with students or youth activists from around the world just to see their story, just to share their story on my platform, which was Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, just to get them on board and get their voices heard. And leading my team, that's what my DTM project is also about, is introducing the Gavaliers to what Toastmasters are introducing, creating a Gavaliers Club at Westfield University College. So that was our second meeting with the first one I attended. And I can't wait to see them grow as these budding speakers. And level 5, managing a success. That was us at GITEX, reflecting on your path. What have I learned in a year and a half before I gave the speech? And leading in your volunteer organization, right? So that was our breast cancer awareness day at university where we organized it. And above was GITEX, as I mentioned, and you want to reflect on your path. Level 5 basically goes about that. And you just understand what is the journey you've done for so long. How have you become a leader that you always aspired to be? Did you do that? Did you not do that? What can you do? That's what you have to do in that. And lastly, the thing I love doing the most is I can never go wrong with this because I realize I'm the leader I am today, or I am the person giving the speech to you guys over here, to all your respected Toastmasters, is because of the people around me. And at all times, I always like to say thank you to them. And these are the people that have inspired me so much and who have always pushed me that I can never ever say I would not be here without them. So I like to thank my parents, first and foremost, over here, and all of these individuals, like my friends, my mentors, colleagues, my boss, everyone. So that is what leadership development really is. And I think I did become a good leader over there, and I can't wait to see you guys become great leaders too. Over to you. And see. I think, yeah. Toastmaster Divi, you're on stage now and you'll do a great job over there.
Thanks a ton, Toastmaster Isaac, and good morning to all my fellow Toastmasters. Are leaders born or made? Let's have a show of hands of how many of us think leaders are born. How many of us think leaders are made? Interesting. How many of us think it's both, 50% made, 50% born? Aha. Now, for decades, people have been trying to figure out whether great leaders are born with innate leadership skills or you can develop them into leaders. Now, recent scientific studies have shown that leadership is only 30% genetic, whereas 70% can be learned. So this shows us that predominantly leaders are made. In order to be a good leader, one must have the experience, the knowledge, the commitment, the persistence, and most importantly, they should have the expertise on how to arrange and work with a team to attain the objectives. Great leadership is developed through a never-ending process of self-study, instructions, accumulations of all your experience. So in this way, great leaders are made, not born. Now, who can tell me what is the tagline of Toastmasters International? You can put it in the chat if you can't unmute.
Where leaders are made.
Absolutely, where leaders are made. Now, I was in a leadership role in my company, and I am a people's person where I love to interact with people. I love to see people grow, and I want them to be the best versions of themselves, empowering them. So I thought that I needed to improve, and I wanted to improve my leadership skills. Anything good can be great. So that's when I came across Toastmasters, and the tagline where leaders are made caught on to me. And I said, yes, this is the place that I have to be. According to adult learning principles, we follow the 70-20-10 principle. 70 is you learn from experience, 20 is you learn from exposure, and 10 is you learn from education. And in Toastmasters, you will get 100% of all this. In this learning platform, you will learn to be a good leader. Now, the way this leadership development program in Pathways is designed, not only leadership development, any pathway, it's so well curated, so well designed program that you will definitely enhance your potential and meet your objectives of what you had come for. I came here to be a better leader. The core competencies of this project of leadership development is public speaking, which any leader needs to speak at any time, interpersonal communication, which you need to have that one-on-one communication with your members, management, that is what leadership is about, managing the entire show, and confidence. If you don't have the confidence, none of these three will work. Now, coming to the leadership development program, the main core of the core project was leading a team. There was a project where the purpose was to lead a small team towards completion of a project. Now, at that time, I was the VP education of the club, and I had an education team of 3. So, there are many challenges in VP education. One of the challenge was, when a newcomer comes and you have to explain the role over and again to every new member on how they're supposed to perform that role play. When I joined, I remember I had taken the role of a grammarian. And I was given tons and tons of Toastmasters information to learn how to do that role. And I was told, go to YouTube. And, there are lots of Toastmasters videos, search for that role, and you will understand how to do it. Well, I read through all those documents and on the YouTube, I went skip, 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 skip till I reached the grammarian role. I realized it was too much of time and too much of effort to reach that particular objective of what I wanted. So we brainstormed, me and my team, we brainstormed, and we came up with the education library. What was the education library? It was a one-stop shop for all role details. For example, word master role. I would click on the word master. It would take me to a slide which just had a brief bullet points, no too much English, just what you're supposed to do before the meeting, what you're supposed to do during, what you're supposed to do after. And there would be a small YouTube video to show you what that YouTube video, what that role is. Like if it's a grammarian, only grammarian. So this saved a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it was a simple interface. Now, because of this project, I learned to do this. Because of the project in the leadership development, I made this as a project and this as it was an effective project. Here, what I learned is like alone, you are strong. Yes, I could do so many things, but with your team, you are stronger. Teamwork is dream work. What happens is it multiplies the success while dividing the work. Within this team, I learned that you need to have trust, dedication, flexibility within the team. How this helped me? Well, it helped me a lot when it came to my role in my workplace as a leader, where I was able to motivate, inspire, guide my team members to reach their goals. How did it help me in Toastmasters? Well, of course, being the president now of the club, it helped me to provide guidance and instruction to my team members and go towards the vision of what the club stands for. So together, we all looked at one vision. And besides in my career and in Toastmasters, it also helped me at home. So I have a team of 2 small people at home where I was able to mold them, empower them to do work at home. So overall, this project really helped me in all folds. Next, there is a project on being a good listener. By nature, I am a good listener, but this taught me to be even better, a great listener. The secret to being a good leader, the secret for a good relationship is being a great listener. And this project really shows you how to develop your listening skills. In leadership, having a team, you need to listen to your members. You never know what idea each one can come up with. So this helped build a lot of good relations and get a lot of ideas within the team. Next, coming to evaluations. Now, during appraisals, before joining Toastmasters, my appraisals with my team members used to be very short, crisp, to the point. This is what good you've done. This is what you've not done good. You need to improve. Now, some would take it well. Some would not take critical feedback that well. But here in Toastmasters, I learned how to beautifully give your evaluation. You start with good points. You use the sandwich approach. You come in between to how you are supposed to give your points of improvement in a nice, sweet way, that also in a very sweet way. And then again, you take them on a high with good points. So I saw that initially after the appraisals, there would be some sad faces, some not so good faces. But after Toastmasters and after using this way of evaluation, after every appraisal of mine, everybody goes with a happy face. So Toastmasters really shows you how to deal with your members during an evaluation time. Next came empathy. Toastmasters, this leadership development program taught me how to use empathy when managing a difficult audience. When I came to this project, I was wondering, how would this help me? How would, giving a speech and few people interrupting me would help me? But then I realized in teamwork, of course, you have, in your team, you have some people or some situations where a conflict arises. How you handle those people, how you handle your members, how you handle these difficult members or difficult audience really show this program, this pathway program really shows you how to handle that in a very efficient and effective way, and resolving those conflicts without much of a disturbance in both your relationship. So this was another amazing project which helped me in my professional life and Toastmasters life and personal life too. Next was managing successful event. There was a project where how you have to plan. So what I learned over here, that plans are nothing. You can have a lot of plans over here, but if you don't start planning, you will reach nowhere. So plans are nothing. Planning is everything. Here we had to develop projects and successful events. So this taught me how to organize, how to plan, and how to implement successful events. Like we started with contests and moved on to bigger events in this platform, in Toastmasters and at work as well. There's also a project on social speeches, which impromptu, sometimes you need to like praise an employee or talk something good. So impromptu, you can come up with social speeches. So this also helps a lot when it comes to your leadership development, in your workplace. Planning saves a lot of time. Planning saves like 10 hours of doing that. So when you plan your work, your plan in your leadership, it helps a lot. It saves a lot of effort. Now, I could extol the virtues of leadership development Toastmasters unendingly. The amount I've learned from this has been amazing. I've had an amazing growth in my Toastmasters journey, in my professional journey, and all thanks to this beautiful program called Pathways. So I would leave it up to you to get into this pathways where leadership development, it will definitely help you explore it, learn, and you too will extol the virtues of this forever. That's me signing off and now handing over to the beautiful soul that I came across in this Toastmasters journey, the beautiful Toastmaster, Dr. Muniba Ali. DTM, by the way, she's got her distinguished Toastmaster now. So distinguished Toastmaster, Dr. Muniba Ali. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster DV Alcasos. And thank you, Toastmaster David Isaac and Toastmaster DV for that so much motivating and inspiring session. A big round of applause for both of you, young talents. And there is a request from our Toastmaster David Isaac. Can we have a group picture? Zoom Master, can you spotlight 3 of us?
All right, can we just have a smile over there? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Muniba.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And hope this training will help you to deal with the fear and emerge as a leader. And the 4th pathway we picked for today is dynamic leadership. And to take us through the gates of this pathway, we have a wise guide and the best among the best to speak from her heart. Toastmaster Ramasubramanian is a Toastmaster for past 7 years, 6 months, and 25 days. So precise. He's a past Area 23 director. He's currently the president of Apple's Toastmasters Club and also a counselor for Apple's Gables Club. Of the 5 pathways he has enrolled, he has finished dynamic leadership and presentation mastery. And he believes Toastmasters is a platform which has evolved him to speak and support many budding speakers. He feels the joy of sharing is tremendous and participation in various activities is immensely satisfying in Toastmasters. He loves reading, traveling, discovering new cuisines. And living in the Middle East for the past 30 years has taught him the value of family and friends, which he thinks is a spinal cord of our body, and which needs proper care and attention for one's well-being. It's been a pleasure to associate with him and to give a testimonial about the pathways of dynamic leadership. We have with us DTM Deepa Surendran, our PQD of District 105. The years of dedication in Toastmasters Deepa has spent can be given a number, and the exemplary leadership she has portrayed can be enumerated with the titles. You are the best. You have been the best. You have the charm, the style, the sophistication, and your goals are cleverly thought out, just like you. To the leader and the lady, the stage is all yours for the final band. Over to you, Toastmaster Ramasubramanian.
Thank you very much, DTM, Dr. Muniba Ali. The way you started off and flattering, I couldn't have asked for more. And getting a flattering from such a wonderful and beautiful doctor, you have made my day, doctor. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. This is what we really all earn for and enjoy it thoroughly. Let me talk to you about the most loved pathways and the most energetic pathways, which I believe in Toastmasters. Nothing short of a breathtaking and captivating energy. Why? You will shortly see it. And believe me, if you haven't taken it, just go ahead and plunge into this dynamic leadership. Why? That it goes some reasons for it. Let me share you some informations about. Okay, there we go. Yes. So the reason for me saying about this is very simple. If you look at any kind of pathways which we talk about, this is the first one that really crops up, which is dynamic leadership. And what exactly do you do? When you hit a Google, the first thing what comes in is a search engine. And when you search for something, and the first search that comes in, you go and look at it. This is exactly what happens in Toastmasters. And this is the first path which Toastmasters recommend, or it just comes automatically. Why? Plenty of reasons. If you look at the dynamic leadership path, it says 1, 2, 3, and 5. You look at the beautiful captions. 1, it covers the public speaking, what we want for. 2nd, it talks about interpersonal communication, what you need for. 3rd, it talks about strategic relationship. And 5th is the confidence building. Wow, you have got a great masala of everything. You don't need anything else beyond this. That's the real part of dynamic leadership. It encapsulates every aspect of you wanting to be a professional speaker. And by the end of the level 5, which I will run through it slowly, you will get to know why, for what reason, like what DTM Panikkar mentioned, Wi-Fi method. What is in it for me? This is very important. And sincerely believe that there has to be some kind of message which you need to take home at the end of the day. Let me start off with a level 1, which is the start of the journey. There are 5, I would say, minimum projects which you need to go through it. The first one is what I love most, icebreaker. That's where a speaker comes onto the stage and talks about his own experiences. In what we have in school as me and myself, all about yourself, how you came to know about Toastmasters, what you do for your living, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. And that's where the confidence comes in. The first time a speaker comes onto the podium with a beautiful smile and explains what's in it for me. Second, the most important thing is writing a speech. There has to be a speech which has to have some kind of purpose. Anything without a purpose doesn't give that kind of charm, doesn't give that kind of energy. For me, energy is very important. Why? Because that's where the motivation is there to give your best. You can't go to any kind of work and say, that doesn't work in today's scenario. Yeah. Introduction to vocal variety and body language. This is something super. I have done CC and CL, which talks about competent communication and competent leadership in the earlier days of Toastmastery. And that's a great thing to introduce again in this dynamic leadership. This is a new one which has just come in. It was not there before in dynamic leadership. So just to inform you, this is a beautiful addition to the entire thing in the level 1. And this is something very, very important to Toastmasters. Why? You bring in that charm, you bring in that energy, you bring in that kind of vocal varieties. When you need to pause, you get an effect. When you don't pause, you get an effect. That's the beauty about what you create an impact. If I go on talking, sometime rambling, it doesn't really give you that energy. It doesn't give you that content what you look for. And this is something a vocal variety and a body language brings in to the impetus of the meeting. Lovely. Somebody said about evaluation and the feedback. I simply adore this. All Toastmasters really want to have a great information as to what they have done in terms of the speeches. And this is something beautiful. Believe me. Why? Because it really charges you. It motivates you. It gives you that kind of information, how you can do better. And there are small tweaks which you can really change your course of improving your speech, your body language, your positions, and things like that. And I would appreciate every Toastmasters to take on this evaluation and feedback in a very, very sincere manner. Look at speeches, which is all available in Toastmasters, prep yourself, and then give a beautiful kind of evaluation. Finally, there are this level 1 completion. Once you complete all the 4, which you need to do, you will get a completion on the level 1. And that makes sure that you completed a level 1. Next, you go on to the level 2. Level 2 also requires you need to complete 4 items, the 1, 2, and 3, and the 4th one is automatically talking about the completion. Understanding your leadership style, understanding your communication style, and introduction to Toastmastering mentoring. All 3 encapsulates how your leadership positioning is improving on a step-by-step method. You can also go from level 3 to level 2. You can do that. But yes, I would suggest you to follow a proper method statement so that it gives you an overall charm and overall learning about the entire process. When I talk about leadership style, somebody mentioned about authoritative style. Somebody mentioned about laissez freestyle. That means you do as you please. It's all different as per their own style of working. Your communication style be like, for example, the earlier President Donald Trump, straight to the point. Somebody like him could be a different style. Or if you know a TV presenter called Arnab Goswami, his communication style, the way he shouts, the way he pumps in energy, the way he pushes you down, that's a different kind of communication style. Every individual has got a different communication style. What I really want to emphasize is bring in your natural flavor, bring in what you're comfortable with. That's what you will be known for. That's what you will be accepted for. If I try to become a Toastmaster of somebody else and copying it, I will not do a proper job perhaps. So live up to your own measurement and do what you feel comfortable with. Next, a mentoring part. This is a beautiful part. I really love it because that's where a Toastmaster's complete encapsulation as to how you can shape up his journey really begins. All Toastmaster clubs have a beautiful mentors, and the mentees have to get a good kind of synchronized activities so that the dance happens in a very, very beautiful manner. Once you complete this level 2, you go on to a level 3 kind of dynamic leadership. Again, you need to do 3 projects here. The first one is, of course, the most important, which is negotiate the best outcome. What happens here is you are identifying your negotiation style. You negotiate everywhere in life. You go home, you negotiate something with your daughter, you negotiate something with your wife, you do something here and there. You negotiate with your boss, of course, and get something in a mutually agreed manner so that there is a win-win for all. And then you have elective projects. Elective projects, you have got a whole sort of things. You have deliver social speeches. I don't want to run through all this, but the one which I like most is creating an effective visual aids. How well you do an effective visual aid presentation. It could be the best aid for you to do a presentation which has not been encapsulated in words. A picture speaks 1,000 words. So do that kind of style, a style which will really present what you wanted to talk about in a very, very superfluous manner. Coming to level 4, which is the penultimate part of the journey. This is the first one which you need to manage a change, which focuses on how you plan for changing and developing in a communication plan. This is all basically in terms of how you overcome kind of different communication styles and you develop and identify obstacles so that you overcome the hurdles in a much more smoother way. The mentors really play a very important part here. Coming to the elective projects here, there is a whole sort of elective projects which is mentioned, which I'm not covering here. But finally, which come to a level 5, which is lead in any situation. This is also a must one, which we need to do, which is about 20 minutes in terms of presentations. Then we come into the elective projects, which talks about a varies of elective projects here. One of the things which I really liked here is about leading a volunteer organization. I lead a volunteer organization, which is called Apple's Gavel Club. This is a volunteer organization which has got around 15 children from age 13 to 18. And I help them in terms of public speaking, organizing their skills, and dressing up to the occasions. This is something which we help them a little bit in terms of developing the skills in the way they present themselves. I really want you to understand the final part, which is the path completion, which you reflect on your path and you do a complete project on this. I wanted to add something out of Toastmasters in the pathways, which is mentioned here. You need to track your progress in Excel sheet. You need to understand where you're going, how you're going, and when you're going. The ultimate goal in mind is to reach the objective. Make sure that you make a timeline and you follow the timeline. I've just put in here for my progress, which I did it for myself, a level 5, which took me a certain amount of time to finish it. It was not up to the mark to my evaluator. I redid it, and then I did a completion time. So I also have a situation where we upload all your documents on a TMI website, which can take care of e-portfolio, which has got various levels, which you can accommodate all your evaluation, your speeches, and then things like that. This is a great tool. Please use it, Toastmasters. And this will be a wonderful guide where you just have in one place all your information at one go. That's it from my side. I hope you have a wonderful learning and dynamic leadership. And if you have any doubts, please reach out to me anytime. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Muniba.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ram. I think it's my turn now because Dr. Muniba has already done the introduction. Thank you very much for the opportunity, District 105, my dear lovely three division directors, BI and P directors. Now, we just saw how beautifully our Toastmaster Ram has explained the basics of Pathways dynamic leadership path. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, fellow Pathwalkers. In my opinion, what I recently heard, leadership is not selling fairy tales. Leadership is confronting challenges. I heard it from the recently appointed British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. And this is exactly what I've learned from doing the projects in Dynamic Leadership Path. Leadership is not selling fairy tales. It's confronting challenges. By doing the projects from the Dynamic Leadership Path, I developed kind of enormous faith in my abilities. You put me in any situation, I will find a way. That is the confidence I've got by doing these projects. These projects made me believe in myself and in my capabilities. And if you look at the difference between a very successful human being, a happy human being, and a failed and happy human being, then we can see this is the only big difference. That's self-belief, confidence. And we all are here to improve our confidence, right? Now, in this project, the main focus of these projects, apart from other TI projects, what I have seen is the effect of conflict and the skills to diffuse the conflict and direct the conflict to a normal situation. And then how to develop strategies to manage change. And in our life, day-to-day life, at a profession or at work, at office, at our friendly relationships, or at home, change is the only constant, right? So this path is giving us enough opportunities to learn how to manage change. Then digital transformation and project management. These are the main focus of the projects in Dynamic Leadership Path. Now, my job is to share my experiences, what I have earned by doing these projects from Dynamic Leadership Path. And I plan to share some experiences from my Toastmasters journey so that some of you at least may be able to connect better. When COVID hit us in 2019, 2020, I was a division director. Our district was flying high. All the members were kind of really happy and they were really competitive. They were very happy to be a Toastmaster and become a better human being. February, March, we started hearing news from across the world that a tiny virus started controlling the lives of human beings. We started getting news that many are dying. But in here, we were busy conducting area contest. 4 of my area contests were over. It was on March 20th morning. And our champion speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Hashim's area contest. And in between, I received a call from the leadership team. Hey, Deepa, how dare you conduct a contest when we are getting such deadly virus killing people, that kind of a news from across the world? How dare you? I was actually expecting offer for offer of support to conduct an area contest. But when I heard this particular message, I was taken aback. Then I just regained my coolness, and then I replied, as of now, we didn't receive any information, any instruction from the local government. And if you get something, please immediately let us know. We will stop this particular contest and this get together. Thank you very much. And this happened. I mean, if it is happening before the dynamic leadership path, let me tell you, I'm not very sure how would have been my response. But after conducting this, negotiate the best outcome, as Toastmaster Ram mentioned, the level 3 mandatory project, negotiate for the best outcome for a win-win situation, I managed to regain that cool and then respond to the other side of the telephone line, though it was really provocative. Then, yes, that was the last in-person contest happened in that year, and coming 2 years as well. The lockdown was announced and we all were in a dilemma. What to do? We have to conduct the division contest, the remaining area contest, and we have to find a way to conduct our regular meetings as well, because most of us had renewed. After paying, if we are not attending meetings, if we do not have a way to conduct meetings, then that is pathetic, right? As leaders, it's a failure. So that was a time, let me admit, the techies came into picture. Distinguished Toastmaster Dinesh, Jinesh, and all the likes came to the forefront, and we started doing a lot of research on the online meeting tools. We started conducting awareness sessions for the entire district. I remember having many attending from Jordan, Lebanon, Oman, and from entire UAE as well, more than what we expected. And actually we struggled to respond to many questions as well in the initial sessions, but we learned over the period. Then we conducted all the 4 contests for the division, for our division F. We used breakout rooms. Please, now I know you all are very much aware about managing breakout rooms, but this, I'm talking about this particular thing in 2020, early 2020. We managed it. And then we introduced Mentimeter. Instead of collecting the voting in a manual fashion, we taught the people to vote online using Mentimeter. Then we conducted awareness session using the election buddy, because till then nobody thought about conducting elections online, because there was no meetings at online meetings at all. Election buddy awareness session was attended by many area directors in the region itself, because they were forced to conduct elections. Now, let me admit, all these projects from Dynamic Leadership Path helped us to conduct that digital transformation. It was out of necessity. We had to manage the change. And these projects in this particular pathways, Dynamic Leadership Path helped us to develop the strategy and deploy the change what was required. And the next year, for the next month, all these experiences culminated in us conducting the district annual conference as well. By then, many leaders, Distinguished Toastmaster Anita Naidu, Distinguished Toastmaster Sharon, Deebag, and all other people came out as proficient in Zoom platform, and we managed to use Zoom webinar with more than 1,000 plus, 1,200 plus attendees in that platform, attending the district Toastmasters annual conference. Moving on, the next year I got an opportunity to serve the district as public relations manager. By then I had completed my how to conduct an online meeting project in a dynamic leadership path, then public relations strategies, then what is that, the how to manage change, which I already mentioned. All these projects, yeah, how to create a podcast as well. And I do believe that, you know, all the projects in dynamic leadership path, especially level 3 and level 4, is just created for me. Because all these projects helped me a lot to become a successful public relations manager as well. Thank you, Toastmasters, and thank you for this for introducing this particular path. Now, just look at the last level, the mandatory project. Manage in any situation, lead in any situation. And this is exactly what I mentioned earlier. If you put me in any situation, I will find a way. And that is the confidence I have got by doing that particular project. Lead in any situation. Please, leaders, all the members, this is an opportunity. If you are getting a leadership position, it is not a burden. It is an opportunity to lead, to be happy in good days and in bad days alike. The opportunities what we are getting in Toastmasters is not a burden. Try to prove yourself, try to find our potential to the max. Thank you very much for the opportunity. If I get more time, I will be keeping on talking, praising the projects. Thank you very much. Back to our beautiful, lovely MC, Toastmaster Dr. Muniba, Distinguished Toastmaster Dr. Muniba.
Thank you, DTM Deepa Surendran. That was an encouraging, stimulating, and influential session. Thank you, DTM Deepa Surendran and Toastmaster Ramasubramanian. Both of you did a wonderful job. And to the audience, hope this training will help you to address the fear of public speaking by being a driving force. And that ends our session for today. Hope we all learned a lot by addressing our fears. Speaking in front of public is the panacea, but how to do it in an organized way, just like you take Panadol in the exact dose and the correct time. This is what our professors, our senior and seasoned Toastmasters tried to teach us today. And we shall keep learning more and more in the coming days. So to close this session and to have the vote of thanks, let me hand over the stage to a bundle of energy, the bubbly, the lively, the lovely Division P Director, Toastmaster Midhat Siddiqui.
Thank you so much, Division I Director, DTM Muniba. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, how was the session? I'm so glad to see that all of you were able to stay up on a Sunday morning and stay throughout the session. It shows that, yes, there is something that you have taken out of the session, isn't it? Show me some love, some emojis, so I can see the reaction. Yes, that's more like it. Now I can see all the love, smiles, and happiness. They say that teamwork happens when people work together toward a common goal. And DTM Muniba in the beginning mentioned that what is so special about 30th October? Well, you all have guessed it right. The special part was that today we were able to fulfill our today's goal that everyone who attends this session can become more proficient of pathways. And we were able to meet that goal. We had dynamic leaders who were there to present and tell us their experiences, how it goes, what goes. And I'm sure all of you feel like, yes, these are the paths that I want to choose. Even right now, I was thinking, what should be my third path? And I just know exactly which path I was supposed to pick. Thank you, DTM Vinod. I think I'm pretty much convinced to take presentation mastery as my third part. Now, this show wouldn't have been possible. The three of us, DTM Muniba, DTM Pragnia, and DTM Deepa, the four of us were not able to manage this show alone. And that's the reason we have this amazing team with us. And trust me, we couldn't have pulled it off without each one of you. Thank you so much. Firstly, I would like to thank our dear leader, DTM Deepa, for always leading us from the front, ensuring that she's always there. She's literally one message away or one call away. Thank you so much to our program quality director, DTM Deepa, for sticking by us through thick and thin. And my lovely ladies, my co-partner, DTM Muniba and DTM Pragnia. We had a wonderful journey planning, preparing for this, but apart from all four of us, there were other stars who made this star-studded show possible. And how can we miss them? So let me just quickly run through my presentation to show our gratitude to these amazing people. Just let me know if you're able to see my screen. Firstly, I'd like to thank our area director, Toastmaster Georgia, for setting up the tone for us and ensuring that we are in full energy the moment we start our journey. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Georgia. DTM Anida, thank you so much for always sticking around and ensuring that you are there to support us. And how can I forget our diligent timer, Toastmaster Wenzel? Till now, we have stick on time, and I can clearly see that he is showing green to me, and I'm sure that I end on time. Thank you, DTM Abdul Sattar, for sharing your views about engaging humor and how we can add more humor to our life. Thank you, DTM Sriram, for sharing your firsthand experience that how it has helped you to click that funny part of you. Thank you so much, DTM Vinod Parnikar, for diving deep into the path and knowing and telling us how we can choose this path and what are the reasons we should select this path. I know Toastmaster Shaisti couldn't make it. I hope that you get well soon, but still, thank you so much for willing to be a part of it. And once again, thank you so much, DTM Vinod, for stepping in last minute. Toastmaster David, thank you so much for sharing your leadership experience and guiding future leaders how to be more proficient. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Devi, for sharing your inspiring experiences and how it has added value to your life, not just the professional life, but your Toastmasters and personal life. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramasubramaniam, for sharing your experiences about the path. And how can I forget DTM Deepa for sharing her first-hand experience, how the path dynamic leadership has involved in her life, in professional and Toastmasters and personal lives. So without these stars, this show wouldn't have been possible. And I'm so happy to see that we all came together to make sure that we were able to meet our today's goal. And I'm proud to say that, yes, we have managed to reach our today's goal. With that, I would like to sign off. Once again, enjoy your Sunday morning, go for a lovely walk or have a big breakfast. With that, we will see you in our next session in November. So watch the space, watch the dates and timings, and we will keep you posted on that. Thank you so much. And with that, a huge thank you from Division B Director, DTM Pragnia, Division I Director, DTM Muniba, and myself, Division B Director, Mitha. We'll see you in some other session. Thank you so much. See you once again. Bye.
Can you take a group photo?
Oh, yes, sure. May I request everyone to please switch on your camera so that we can see your beautiful faces and the lovely smile that is on your face after attending this session. And who is going to click the picture?
I will click. Please open your cameras, please.
Okay, everyone just show your bright smiles, as bright as you can.
One minute, I am doing the first screen. Just wait one more. Yes, done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dilip.
You all.
Take care, everyone.
you.
Stay safe and enjoy your Sunday morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, division directors.
Thank you.
We have division
you,
L,
DDM
division
Deepa.
O,
Done.
division A. All
Well
done.
done.
Do we stay or do we leave?
Well done, Wenzel.
Master, till
On
they
time.
end the,
Amazing, guys. We ended the
Master, till
session
they end,
4
no?
minutes before the agenda.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, wonderful,
Very
wonderful.
That's amazing.
That's
So that
amazing.
agenda was the perfect
Yeah,
one.
we have
Who
to
made
keep
it?
the time.
Dr.
That's very-
Muniba, right? Who
Yes.
made the
Yes.
agenda?
I made that agenda.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Perfect agenda.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
DTM
you.
Deepa, and powerful leadership from division directors.
Great,
Well
great.
done.
Thank you.
Thank
Zoom
you.
was
Thank you
amazing.
very much.
Well done.
Thanks, Wenzel. Thank you, Toastmaster Dilip. Thank you, DTM Anita.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Toastmaster, not at least DTM. Thank you for making me DTM so early. Thank
Soon
you.
to be DTM. One
Yeah.
step away. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
DTM Deepa,
Thank you,
for
thank you.
always being there.
Thank you.